All right, so we're talking about whether, a man would fix up a woman fix up a man. So let's just open the playing field a bit more. Would any of you who are, willing to be a fixer-upper, would y'all fix up someone who has mental health issues, concerns, a history? Maybe they haven't even had a issue that has, made itself obvious, but even if they have a history of mental health, would y'all be willing to go there?
No.
I feel like that's hard. You gotta know what you can and cannot take on. That is a job in itself. And like I was saying, like there's we issues within the relationship and there's like personal issues that you gotta work on too. But the crazy shit is about life is like people sometimes be so good at that mask and showing you that good side of them. And then it's like a year or two in, it's like, oh, what happened? Like, so, and you don't even know that they have some mental shit going on with them until a year or two after, a month after. And then you feel like you already invested in it. So you do want to help them with it, but you got to balance out too. Like I said, what you can and cannot handle. I know that when a job is not for me and it's for that person, like there's but so much I can take on. I can't help you all the way. You got to save yourself with certain things.
I feel like mental health issues is something like that needs to be dealt with professionals. I don't think it's something you should take on because you're never going to be able to fix that person. A lot of people have mental health issues and we don't even realize it. We're like, oh my God, why is it so bad? Because it's really like their mindset is really messed up. They need real help. So I'm not trying to fix nobody with mental health issues personally. I'm not doing it because I just feel like those are crazy people. Crazy people need to be in a psychiatry somewhere. Like, it's not my, I'm not specialized for this.
Well, I'm going to say this. You can meet somebody, Danny. I get your point. But you can't meet someone unannounced, not knowing that they have any type of symptoms of showing mental issue.
Okay.
I know that I've volunteered my service before. I'm not willing to anymore.
Yeah.
So I, it's certain symptoms you're not going to see that someone has some mental issue.
Because I didn't see it when my ex had it until like a year in, and I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
He snapped into a whole different type of person and that I did not understand. And I was like, I can't do this for my own personal. So we went to like some convenience store in LA, and I remember everything was so cool before then. We had moved in together, everything was lit. And the gas attendant was like, the store is closed. And I remember him like mushing a guy in the face. And I was like, I had never seen anything like that before. Like, I'm a very calm person. I be chilling. And I'm like, he just told you that the store was closed and that you couldn't get nothing. And his anger was like, it was like a snap situation. And since then it was like, the play fighting seemed to be a little bit too serious. He didn't stop when he was supposed to stop. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're enjoying this. And I'm not digging it. And it's not okay with me. Like, so I just felt like, nah, like you really had some deep issues. And my mom always told me, she was like, you gotta watch how a man treat his mom and see that's how he will treat you. And he used to bark on his mom and scream at her and everything. And then he started doing that shit to me. And I was just like, I can't do this. I can't save you. I'm not here for that. I'm here to love you, and that's all I could do, but my job here is done.
Wait, hold on.
What, Rico?
I gotta regroup. Hold on, because I be snapping sometimes. but I felt like, me personally, I've dated women who needed, like when we say mental health issues, I want to make sure that the audience and everybody viewing is not thinking it's something extreme, because some people think that mental health issues could be like schizophrenia, but it could just literally just be
trauma.
Yeah, it could just be some type of small trauma or big trauma, either or. There could be, like, for me, I consider this a mental health issue is I have super trust issues. I don't trust not a single soul. I don't trust a single person. I don't trust a single woman. I just have trust issues, right? And that's something that's deeply rooted that I personally believe is something I have to live with, right? Everybody that I had growing up left me when they weren't supposed to leave me. So I had to fend for myself and find for myself and work for myself. So as much as I love you and I want you to be here, in the back of my mind, I know that people have the ability to bounce on me. So I kind of have a little bit of a guard up. Yeah. Now, I tell you how to deal with that as somebody who might consider that a mental health issue. Listen, when you go out, you can go out, do your thing, but when you get home, let me know that you're home. I have very small requirements to make sure that part of me does not trigger. right? Now, I've dealt with women who had mental health issues as well, too, where, you know, I could not touch them a certain way because they had been touched that way in a traumatic moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I personally believe that, believe it or not, most of us have some type of mental issue.
I believe that.
Right? Now, the degree on the mental issue that depends on your own threshold. You know, somebody could deal with somebody who snaps, like has a super rage effect, and there's some people who can't. Now, I don't think that they need, sometimes you don't necessarily need specialist help, as Danny said. Sometimes all you need is somebody comforting, you know? Like, I've had relationships that were more comforting than the other because whatever I personally have, like the trust issues and the, like Major Hype said, it could be an abandonment issue, right? They never made me even feel that way. So I never even, that side of me never even came about, you know? And some relationships, it did. So it's all about what you can and can't deal with and what's your threshold, similar to what you were just saying.
Yeah, but I feel like
Yeah, I'm super open because I tell like, yo, listen. I mean, I'm like, yo, I don't trust none of y'all.
Rico, I feel like mental health issue is a real problem. People don't want to face it, but
Danny, you got mental health issues too. 2 weeks ago, you told me you would lie to a man even though he caught you cheating. That is a mental health issue.
I don't really have an opinion on this, but what I will say is that I think to guide the conversation, we need to use the right words and we need to really be aware of what is what. So what I think Rico was talking about is more so trauma. It's on the trauma end of a spectrum. We know this thing isn't linear. And then I think you have people who have identified and been diagnosed by a professional, by a mental health professional, by a MD, by a PhD or whatever, of actually having a mental health illness. And so I think the way we need to think about it is on this spectrum. So what Rico is dealing with, someone may say, well, oh, if he just seeks out therapy or if he seeks out someone to talk to, that's something that he may be able to work through. And if you go down the spectrum, what Danny is talking about, that's something that someone actually needs medication to deal with their issues. That's someone who actually has an illness. That's someone who may require hospitalization. And so I think we have to look at it on the spectrum versus just saying, oh, they crazy, I can't fuck with it. Because that ain't what it is. Like I deal with anxiety. Sometimes I can go do my breathing exercises and I'm good. But sometimes I might need a pill or two to bring myself down and be able to breathe and actually sit in a room with people. So I think we need to just make sure we're using the right words and that we're not judging people and that we're not attaching negative connotations to what these issues and traumas and illnesses are.
I think we all kind of going through some mental health.
I think everybody deal with their own form of depression in their own way.
And I've dealt with that before too. It wasn't necessarily diagnosed by a doctor or something, but I damn sure knew what that shit felt like. I knew that was depression. I knew that I was not okay. And I was just like, nah, my mental is not right.
And I'm gonna keep it real with you. Based on, the pandemic right now, most of the people that you're meeting on dates, they're dealing with some type of stress, depression, and they're all under the same umbrella of some type dealing with mental issues. So right now, where we are standing, you might meet a guy that look good and his finances is good and everything is good. But because of the pandemic, he might have a bank account that's depleting and he's dealing with it, but he's not showing it. So to say I'm not gonna meet somebody that mental issue, you don't know. People wear masks nowadays.
Very well, too.
People wear masks nowadays. I just had a friend that blew up on me recently online, and this is a close friend. And I didn't know that they were even going that far. So people are dealing with a lot of stress. So we don't know who we...
And I think that as a person, and this is speaking from my own personal experience, it's so essential to reflect on yourself. I don't really necessarily agree you need somebody of some type of expertise to try to tell you what's wrong with you. I was able to figure out what was wrong with me within my own self as long as I took enough time to figure myself out. And I feel like a lot of people don't. So now
a lot of people can't.
A lot of people can't because it gets, I agree with you. A lot of people can't. And for some time I couldn't, but I feel like speaking of somebody who couldn't, it's because I didn't want to.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? Once I decided like, yo, I can't keep on having these same obstacles come into my life. I need to do something different. So then that's when I went back to the drawing board, did some self-reflections and figured out what was in me that was creating the same outcome, right? Because I was the common denominator. Now, once you figure yourself out, I think it's so essential to when you're dealing with somebody new to tell them like, yo, this is how I work. You know, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about the direct approach, and I told everybody on the panel, I'm a direct approach guy because I don't deal with conflict well, because the way I handle it is not going to be a good way for no one. You know what I'm saying? IED, intermittent explosive disorder, right? I show a lot of signs of IED. If I get to that point, there's no calming me down. It's just going, whatever catastrophic happens is going to happen.
That's an Aquarius thing.
Yeah, so like, you know, so for me, and I do snap with certain things. That's why I give people warnings like, yo, all right, you know, like in school, my mom used to tell me like, yo, listen, if you feel yourself getting that mad, give everybody else a warning to stop doing whatever they're going to do. And if they continue to do it, I already know what's going to happen. There's no curing it. You know what I'm saying? So
are you able to walk away from the situation?
it depends on what it is. Like now I'm an adult, so now it's like, all right, let me actually rephrase that. It's not that I'm an adult. Now I got a lot to lose. When I had nothing to lose, there was no walking away because I didn't care. When I had a little bit to lose, there was no walking away. I didn't care. Now I got so much to lose, I actually have to take myself back. Like, yo, is it worth this? And some bug in my ear say, fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? but I have to really, it's hard. But what I'm trying to say is you have to self-reflect. And whenever you're gonna deal with somebody, you gotta be, I'm open book. This is what I do. If you do this is how I'm gonna react. If you do that, that's how I'm gonna react. Don't do any of it and we'll be good. If you do it and you think it's gonna be funny, you try to play it, I don't know where it's gonna end up to, but this is what's gonna end up at.
Let me ask a question real quick.
Honestly, I feel like there's nothing, hold on.
I wanted to ask the question real quick.
You wanna ask?
Yeah, let me ask. Do you guys, because I look for red flags. I look for signs in people.
That part.
If you're introverted, if you're too, you know, because my personality is bubbly and outgoing. So when I meet people, if I meet a man and he said, I don't really do family, I don't hang out, I'm introverted, those are signs for me. So do you guys look for red flags?
I think I'm lying to you, but I think I'm dealing with that right now. Somebody that have anger issues. And I'm like, I don't know how to deal with that because I never dealt with no man that scream at me. I'm usually get dealt as a princess. I'm really a real princess, so people don't scream at me. And even when I deal with dudes, like people think I'm crazy and everything. But when I deal with dudes that bring a calm side of me. But this dude, he actually brings the crazy out of me. Want to scream. When I deal with dudes, it's all love. I want to like make you feel good as a man. Like, you know, I want to make you feel love. Like, you don't ever got to scream. I dealt with dudes that they don't even believe I'm the person I am on social media because that's how calm I am. So for me to deal with a dude like him, it's kind of scary to me. I'm like, damn, is he gonna hit me or kill me or whatever?
So does that mean you're not paying attention to the red flags?
That's a red flag.
Just pointed out?
I kind of feel like, okay, he got mental issue. I know I can fix him because at first I was like, okay, this is the first time he do it. He probably not gonna do it again. Now we're in his third strike, so it's like he's like when I let him do.
Goodbye, sir.
Yes, you know what I'm saying.
I want to switch the conversation. I want to go somewhere else. I'm sorry.
Can I say one more thing about that? I just think that it's important for people to present who they are.
They don't do that.
I do that. Because at this point, I don't want to be a year and a half in with somebody and they be like, oh, you switch shit up and da-da-da. No, my guy, I gave you this person. I showed you who I was. Like, and I know people evolve and change, but it's very, like, I make things very, very clear when I'm going through something that has nothing to do with you, but it's my own personal thing. I'm gonna make you very aware of that and communicate that. And I feel like that's a piece that people don't do either. Like, especially men, because men feel so like, nah, I can't even, I'm supposed to be the man. I gotta hold this down. I can't showcase this to her. And it's just like, at the end of the day, give me your truth so I know what's going on.